Well, this year marks the 42nd year of the Grease, Steam, and Rust Association show in McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. Some folks were here the very first year, and Russell McLucas, you are one of those folks. Tell us about how this show got started.
Well, we started a little differently than most shows. We were asked by the local county tourist promotion agency if we would put on a small antique tractor and machinery show to help with a draw for a countywide fall folk festival, and we said, well, sure, why not? We'll do this. And what was a little show that we had 13 tractors and a few people here has grown into something that exceeded any expectations we had when we did this. One of the draws here is that we do things a little differently. To me, one of the things that is most amazing is that our support from our entire county is just absolutely staggering to the point of we have become the county homecoming. We are, for lack of better terms, overwhelmed with what we have had and what we have seen. For a couple guys who didn't really know much more than what they were doing other than, well, we'll bring our tractors to the fairgrounds and we'll have a good time for a few days, to looking at what now has become a pretty good-sized business is it's a very pleasant surprise. It's just been very pleasant.
Yeah, 13 tractors back in 1981 when this first started, and you've grown. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, how far and wide some of these tractors have come to this place over the years, and you've really had, more than 350 some years, right?
Well, I think our highest single registration on tractors was 387. That's tractors. That does not include steam engines. That does not include any antique cars, antique trucks, or any of the auxiliary equipment that is here that would be registered. Normally now total registrations would be around 400 to 400 plus.
And lots of folks from all around the country coming into southern Pennsylvania for the Grease, Steam, and Rust Association show. You're fortunate that you don't have to go all that far. So tell us a little bit about what makes this Case 400 special to you. The
first farm that we rented, after we came back here, we rented in January of 1977. Rented it off of a woman and family who we go to church with. And they parked their tractor in the shed. Okay, not a problem. And so I said, well, if you ever want to sell the tractor, call us, let us know. Okay, we'll do that. And it's been a while since 1977, in case, we're not going to argue that point. I got a call one evening. She said, if you want our tractor, come get it. So here it sits. And it's the way we pulled it out of the shed. And we drove it home, by the way. We started it and drove it home.
And the Case 400 that's part of your collection now, still in original condition, right?
Still in original. This is an original. It has not been, well, we put a set of front tires on. That's it. It's never been repainted. To the best of anybody's knowledge, it's never been opened up. I don't know that, but that's the best of our knowledge. It hasn't been opened up. But it's pretty original.
Tell us a little bit about the power in the Case 400.
The Case, it's rated around 60 horsepower. It'll probably do it. It's gasoline. It's one of the smaller ones. It's not a Super 400. So it's 4-plow tractor. 4-plow. Pull a 4H harvester pretty easy. Well, at that time we already had one-row harvesters. Boy, that's been a while back. But it would run a one-row harvester quite easily, and it was used some on a pull-type combine. That I do know.
So a good original Case, Pennsylvania-based tractor. Yes. You've also got an Oliver in the family collection. Tell us about that one.
The Oliver, a little bit of an unusual story on it. It's only ever had one home. Was delivered new to farm where I live presently. Was delivered new there. and it'll be 1956, October 1956, delivered new. Still there, been repainted. We did the sheet metal over on it, I don't know, 35, 40 years ago, and opened it up, did the engine on it. It was pretty tired. But it's only had one home. My granddaughter claims it now. She's good at that, you know. I mean, if you have a granddaughter, you'd understand. They get pretty good at that. She tells me it'll never leave.
The Oliver 77, what year is that tractor?
1956.
1956. And what do you think Oliver 77 in 1956, what did that do for a family on the farm here in Pennsylvania?
That tractor was a big tractor at that time. That was a hay baler tractor, tillage work and hay balers. Probably a little small at that time for a 4-H harvester.
Now, Russell, you could do a lot of different things, but you've decided to collect old iron like this, the Case, the Oliver, and I'm imagining a few more. Why do you do it? What's the benefit of holding on to this kind of history?
Well, my answer to that is that everything has a different meaning to a different person. And it all comes back to the memories that come with it. And none of us really, if we're honest, will tell you something other than that. But it's the memories that are with it, the memories of the people who were there that are not with us today. That has a lot to do with it. We can only build on where we came from.
Holding on to that old iron that's been part of the family for a long, long time. I've got to ask you, you were here for the very first show 42 years ago. Where did this name come from? The Grease, Steam, and Rust Association.
I love that question. All these other things, all the other people that were in the area that had this, had a name for this area or that area, or it's a Ruritan club, or it was this or that. We said, well, let's be different. Well, there isn't anything about this old equipment except grease, steam, and rust. And there was 4 of us sitting at a table, or 4 or 5 of us sitting at a table, and a comment was made, well, all we're dealing with is grease, steam, and rust, because, one guy was in the steam. And we just all looked at each other and said, that's it. We're just sitting at a table and somebody threw an idea out. No, that's it. That was the end of it. Yeah. The discussion closed. And by the way, we are trademarked.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So meeting adjourned at that point, right?
Well, that was a good point to quit. That was really a good point to back off of the meeting, because you just get something when it goes click and you know you're done. And we knew we were done.
Hey, Russell, thanks for being a part of that first group that got things started here on the fairgrounds 42 years ago.
Okay, thank you. And I will say that there are 2 of us that were here that are still here.
Still here, and that's a great tradition to carry on. It's the Grease, Steam, and Rust Association show in McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. A great show, and you can find out more at their website, gsnr.com. Hey, thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If you'd like to see more Oliver tractors, be sure to check out these other great stories. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep our Oliver tractor stories rolling.